Hello everyone, I'm Ryan McDonald, executive producer here at Gamespot Live, and joining me, Alex Navarro, Ricardo Torres, and as many of the Gamespot staffers we could fit behind the couch, to be honest. Obviously, we wanted to start today's On the Spot off a little different than we had in the past. The recent events and what happened last week in regards to our longtime friend and colleague, Jeff Gerstmann, being dismissed. It's been really hard on us, and the response obviously has been tremendously immense, and it's been on both sides. It's been, it's nice to see that everybody speaks up, and it's been kind of pulling for us. On the other hand, it's been hard, obviously, seeing, GameSpot sucks written 100,000 times in forums and stuff. So, obviously, we wanted to address this and talk to you guys today. Jeff was a personal friend to pretty much everybody, so it was really, really hard that it happened the way it did. But you've seen, the news story we put up. Hopefully, you've listened to the podcast that we honestly said everything that we could and everything that we, I think in a lot of ways wanted. Jeff's probably in Vegas right now, actually, so Jeff's doing better than all of us. But yeah, we really wanted to say that we love and miss Jeff and give him, honestly, the proper send-off that he deserves. So that's what today's show is all about. And obviously, you can see it's hard for me personally. Anything you want to add, Alex?
No, I think you pretty much summed it up. It's been a hell of a week, and it's been really rough just kind of seeing how this whole thing has just continued to spiral and spiral. And we're doing the best we possibly can to just kind of pull together and keep things going as they have been. And it's been emotional, is what it's been.
Yeah. Ricardo Torres, before I go to you, Ryan Davis wanted to be here today. Unfortunately, he is sick. So Homer Barr is also out, unfortunately. But Ricardo, anything you'd like to add before we kick it to the video that we made for Jeff?
Good.
Thank you. Yeah. So with not much to say other than, we miss you, Jeff, and we know you're doing good. So, have fun in Vegas. And from all of us here and all of you watching out there, we're not through this just quite yet, but hopefully this message today, what we've done with the podcast and the information we've given out in the news story will go a long ways to answering your questions and hopefully letting you know that we're still here and we're still going to be giving you the content that you've come to expect from GameSpot over the last 11 years. So with that, let's go ahead and say goodbye to Jeff the way we wish and that we could have done already. So please roll the video.
Jeff, you ready? Jeff, come on, let's go. No, later, we gotta do a show. Come on, out, drop, spit it.
Taco experience is, okay, I like a lot of choices when it comes to, how I live my life, options. And Del Taco's menu is all about options. So you can get a burrito, you can get a quesadilla, you can get kind of the whole standard Taco Bell menu. But then they also have this whole kind of shoddily put together hamburger menu too. So you can get not so good French fries and kind of a dry hamburger, but it's there for you. And then they have all kinds of other wild, crazy stuff like dulce de leche shakes.
Let's GameSpot.
Hello and welcome to the ever-evolving Let's GameSpot. I'm your host, Jeff Gerstmann. You heard me right. I said evolving.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No, I don't know.
Rumble Racing is EA's PlayStation 2 follow-up to NASCAR Rumble, which is the PlayStation 1 racing game they released last year. It doesn't really fall into the sports genre like you would think a NASCAR game would.
Yeah. Turn it up. Cool.
Okay.
I'm getting crazy on the mic, yo, it's the Jeff with the G. And I already told you not to mess with me, but you better not think to test my posse from the LETSGAMESPOT. We're coming for you, don't take it lightly. You dinosaurs are done, fool, you can't outright me. Time to drop a little knowledge for you all get clown. Give me the game scores, I'll break it on down. The 10 score is perfect, so it's infinitely rare. And if a game scores 9, you know it's way up there. We get that 8, boy, you know it's great. But that don't mean that all the 7s are too too weak to rate. 6 games have problems, but they might be fun. If a game gets a 5, you might want to run. When the score hits 4 or lower, then you know it's hella lame. Hey yo, don't play this game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's the thing. Hey, I'm Jeff Gerstmann. We're here at the Hellman compound. Here with my faithful manservant Chris. This is where we live. Out here in the middle of nowhere, out in the sticks. And it's nice out here. You know, it's far away from everything. Gotta do game reviews. That isolation is sometimes exactly what you need.
Be sure to check out our game space.
Good work, Jeff.
Baby Ruth.
They put Counter-Strike in the Pac-Man arcade. There's a bunch of PCs in the world-famous Pac-Man arcade in Pasadena, California. They are urinating on Nolan Bushnell's grave, and he is not even dead.
Hello, do you have a finished copy of your game that's out next week? I want to get a review schedule. Get a review scheduled.
Released Grand Theft Auto 3 for the PlayStation 2, and from what we've played of it, it's going to be one of the best games to come out this year for the PlayStation 2. For more information, consult our
Header guy.
head.
6.86.
That was obviously a little bit of a look at the great Jeff Gerstmann, and I mean that thing could have been like about 1 billion hours long with all the stuff that we've done over the years. But
A bajillion even.
yes, sir. But there was some good stuff in there. So
Yeah.
thanks to David Toole for cutting that together. And yeah, so should we get on with the on-the-spot action?
Let's do a show.
Let's do a show. Let's do a show. Jeff would want us to do a show.
I think so too.
Totally. So I think we're ready and standing by with our good man Brian Eckberg, who is over at the standing set. Brian, you've got a cool PC game with some guests over there. Can you tell us more? Oh, I think they're going to be working on some technical stuff over there, maybe getting the PC demo set up. Well, I know what they've got over there, so we're going to talk about before they get to it.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
They've got Universe at War for the PC.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this game, sir?
I have. I understand that there is strategy involved.
There is.
And it's in. There's the universe.
And it's at war.
It's at war.
And I think there was a really funny tagline that actually talked about our forums actually being something of a universe at war at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, we're waiting for those guys to get all set up over there. I think they're all ready. So, Brian Eckberg, please take it away, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. I'm joined by a couple of fine fellows from Sega. We've got Steve Frost and Denny Chu. And we're, of course, like you said, looking at Universe at War and real-time strategy game, guys. It's almost out. It's almost here, right?
Yeah, we're coming out on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're right around the corner.
A lot of work has gone into this game, though, and it looks amazing. We're looking at it right now. Give me a high-level overview of where this game's at and what it's all about.
Well, what it's all about, you're looking at 3 factions here. Well, actually on screen right now, you've got the Novus, which is kind of like the iPodish-looking faction on top right here, and they're fighting against the Hierarchy right now, and those are the the huge red walkers that you're seeing on screen. Besides these 2 guys, we've actually got a 3rd faction called the Masari, and they're kind of like a godlike faction where the mythology behind them is kind of like were they the ancient astronauts that came to Earth and helped the Egyptians build pyramids and stuff like that, and were they the ancient Atlanteans, so that's their mythology.
Okay, I thought that was the Predators that built the pyramids. No? Okay.
Not in our game.
So 3 races, 3 distinct ways of playing the game. That's what really stood out to me about this game straight away, is just how different each of the three races are?
Very distinct. I mean, the guys at Petroglyph did a great job of creating really distinct factions that, even though they have different play styles, the balancing in the game still allows for each faction to, have an advantage or disadvantage depending on how you're patching or leveling up your tech trees and whatnot in the game. So, I mean, I almost equate it to like a lion fighting a fish fighting, a gorilla. I mean, they're totally different species, but when you put them in a tank together, they might be able to brawl it out, kind of the idea.
So, Steve, from your point of view, these different play styles, is it I want to pick the race that suits the way I play the game, or can they be adapted to how you want to play, or what's the approach here?
It's sort of a mixture of both, really. I mean, we have sort of the three distinct sides with three different styles of play, as you mentioned. We've got the hierarchy, which are these big walkers. They have their base, they carry it with them. They don't really have a stationary base, so wherever you go, your base goes. And that sort of caters to people who just like to kind of go out and explore. They don't necessarily like to manage bases very much. They just want to go out into the action, into the thick of things. The Novus here are sort of like a network. They're sentient computers, basically. They kind of go around the map, building a network of these networks that you see right here that they can travel through, basically at the speed of light. So they're kind of like jump into a situation, attack, and then get out of there quickly. So they can quickly expand across the given map and then retreat at a moment's notice. The third group, the Masari, which you aren't seeing today, but they're more the traditional RTS guys. They have a base that they need to protect, and it's more so the sort of guys that you'd normally see in typical RTS games out there. It's like, you build your units, you really protect your base. If your base is destroyed, then you're kind of done with for the day.
Right.
But the main thing that we're trying to stress in this game, along with the three differences between the sides, is the ability to adjust your tactics on the fly. So we have numerous ways of doing it. One way is each side has research trees here that you see 3 banks, and you can have 6 enabled at any given time.
Okay.
If you're going down a particular path that you think is effective, but you come across an opponent that says, like, you know what, this path that I've taken doesn't really work properly, I can quickly negate out of it and start building up another path.
Just that quick.
Just that quick.
Right.
And the other way, especially with the Novus here, since they're sentient computers, they have a patching system. So as you're progressing through the game, these patches become available with different abilities. Some like speed up production of units, some reduce cost of units, some protect you from radiation and such. And I can just quickly on the fly like switch to research another one just like that.
So you have to research a patch before it's available to you.
Exactly.
Once
Once
it's available, you can switch in and out as you please.
Exactly. Some of this stuff, as far as the research trees, there's a research cost involved with it. But once you get rid of one, you get the cost back. So it's almost instantaneous. It just takes the time to research it.
And the hierarchy, on the other hand, is a completely different beast, so to speak.
Exactly. I mean, you see the wreckage of one right here, but basically these walkers, they have hard points on them that can be customized. So if you're an offensive player, you want to form troops, you can add hard points that allow you for troop creation. But if you go into the thick of things and you're being destroyed like this walker was just by my troops here, you can switch and have your hard points modified to shields. And you can do that on the fly. It takes a little while to transition, but it allows you to modify your options and your abilities on the fly as you're moving through the map.
What the guys at Petroglyph wanted really to do with that system is kind of make games longer in a way. It's not like older RTSs where, if you see your enemy and you see what they've researched and whatnot, you feel like, oh my god, I've gone down the wrong tech tree, I can't really reverse any of that, I'm going to quit out. We wanted to eliminate that. So with the tactical dynamics, you can actually re-engineer what you've done before to better attack your opponent.
Okay. Do all of the different races have the exact same amount of weapons and character classes and heroes and things like that?
It varies. It depends, actually. Like, for example, the Masari, the third race, they actually have fewer units, but their units have different abilities. They have a light and a dark mode, and you can switch between them. So they may have fewer units, but their individual units have a larger number of abilities. Okay. They can go from defensive to offensive, from range to melee, more defensive to quicker attacks. In the case of the Novus, what we can kind of do with them is a lot of the units have special abilities, like all of them have special abilities. Some of them even have the ability to switch from, for example, an assault sort of situation to form shields that are stationary. So again, going from offensive to defensive as they progress along.
So even within the same race, it sounds like there's some flexibility. If you want to play the Masari one way or go down another path, you can do so. Two people playing the same race can even have some variation.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Like this Sonic Resonator right here, he's in a stationary mode, so he'll take out and damage anything in the surrounding area. I can quickly switch him to a sort of a mobile focused beam mode, and now I can focus on a singular target, which is more powerful, but I'm focused on a singular target. And again, on the fly, I can switch back to a stationary mode that covers a larger area if I'm surrounded by units.
And that's part of the fun in that, you can play against somebody that's playing, let's just say you're playing Hierarchy, you can play somebody else that's playing Hierarchy, and it's totally different styles.
Right. So tell me about multiplayer then. That's a perfect segue. How does multiplayer work in the game, and what are our options when we dive into it?
Well, like traditional RTSs, you've got like skirmish modes that you can set up. There's also an overarching global mode that you can access in the game, where you'll be going. You have a globe, and then there's different territories that you can hold within the globe, and you challenge other players for that territory. So let's just say we're fighting for the southwestern U.S. and I need that territory, and so do you. So we both try to conquer that that territory. So we'll get matched up in a game, and whoever wins gets that territory on their globe.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So I saw one of the big attacks earlier. It was like a black hole attack. Is that one of the more devastating attacks in the game, and what are the kind of options for attacks do we have?
Yeah, every size superpower, you can see the black hole right here, which basically sucks in everything around it, including resources. So not only is this like sort of an offensive weapon where you can wipe out an opponent, but let's say you're trying to destroy resources that an opponent might want. You can also activate this super weapon and just wipe out buildings and other territories around, so they can't get these resources that they need to build units. So it's a lot of mixture. Like everything is an offensive, defensive sort of mix, and you kind of have to think about it by going in and say, like, you know what, I'm not locked to a specific thing for any ability or any unit. I have multiple options, and I can choose the best way to do this on the fly during a battle in the middle of a game.
Tell me about the single-player game. How does it progress? Take you through the 3 different races. I understand there are humans in this game. They just play a sort of smaller role to these 3 alien races.
That's correct, yeah. Normally in a typical RTS, you'd expect that the third race would be the humans, but actually when it starts out, you do play as the human military trying to sort of rescue the president, but you quickly find out that the firepower of these invading aliens is just too strong for you, and quickly the humans kind of get swept by the wayside, protected by these Novus, just from the standpoint that their weapons just aren't powerful enough.
There's actually quite a deep fiction behind the game. The Hierarchy pretty much are going through the galaxy and just harvesting different planets. They just want resources to fuel their war machine. The Novus are pretty much on their tails, traveling through the galaxy, trying to stop them from destroying civilizations and whatnot. And then the Masari have actually been lying dormant on Earth and are awakened by the Hierarchy's arrival. So all 3 races tie together in a really cool way.
Cool. Well, the name of the game is Universe at War.
Earth Assault.
Earth Assault. Sorry about that. The game is out on PC on Monday, and I understand that an Xbox 360 version is in the works.
Yes, there's an Xbox 360 version coming Q1 next year. We're actually going to be the first, I believe, third-party title that's going to be interoperable between PC and 360. Cool. So that's going to be very cool.
Yeah, we definitely have some surprises for 360 as well, and we'll talk about that later, obviously. But we got some good stuff in the works.
And I mean, with the launch of the game this weekend, we've actually got a couple events going on. If you've got an iGames venue near your town or in your city, go to the iGames Tournament Center, because we've got the game running there this weekend to go along with the launch. And then next week, on the 14th and 16th, we've got Microsoft running a Play and Win tournament for us as well. And there's prizes you can win hourly. There's like 3 grand prizes. And you actually get to play the developers during that weekend as well. So look out for them online.
Cool. A lot of good stuff going out for the game. We look forward to playing it next week. Guys, Steve, Denny, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you having.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having you here. And Ryan McDonald, we got more games to look at?
Yes, sir. Next, we are joined by a trio of people. Alex Navarro being the first. Hey, Mr. Alex Navarro. Good to see you again.
Shake your hand again.
And, of course, our good friends from Kobe. We got Jarek. Hey, what's up, Jarek? How you doing? And Tina down there. Hey, how you doing?
Good to have you guys here. And you guys are all here to check out Samurai Warriors Katana.
Indeed we are.
So I'll let you guys take it away.
All right, so this is the first time the Samurai Warriors franchise has been on the Wii. What is this game all about?
Well, Koei's back to doing what it does best, bringing historical action. And we're bringing one of our key franchises, Samurai Warriors, to the Wii. Again, it's the first time. Originally when we thought about bringing this game over to the console, we thought about doing a third-person action game. Very traditional in the Samurai Warrior style, but the only way we could truly feel like, of feeling as if you were a samurai or a ninja fighting was to make it a first-person adventure. So actually, Tina's going to jump into the gameplay.
Yeah,
and
let's get right in here.
So we spent a lot of time balancing the controls out. You'll notice that the normal attacks she'll do those by pressing the A button, and with the charge attacks, these more powerful attacks have gesture-specific moves for each weapon. And for the ultimate Muso attack, she'll quickly shake the nunchuck, and then do a similar gesture. Part of the reason is that when we were originally developing the title, we focused on a lot of mostly gesture control, but our entire test team was just getting worn out. So the team did a really good job of balancing the gameplay. So here what we're looking at, Tina's in the first stage, she's at the Battle of Okahazama. And you don't actually play as one of the Samurai Warriors, you play as your own character, and the Samurai Warriors characters act as your guides throughout the adventure. What she's doing right now, you'll see that there's a target on the characters that change from blue to red. When it's blue, the character is kind of out of range. But when they turn red, they're in range. But you do have the advantage of having two different weapons. What Tina's doing right now is a Muso attack.
She just cut a whole bunch of dudes.
Oh, yeah. And so this guy's out of range, so she has a bow and arrow that she can use to target the characters in the distance.
Sort of interesting seeing the grunt enemies up close like this, because you're so used to just cutting through them in wide swaths. Now you're kind of up close and personal with them. You kind of feel bad for stabbing all these peasants.
Yeah. And in later stages too, you're going to be exploring dark caves. Ninjas will be popping up from the side, from the top of the screen, coming at you from all directions. So you really have to kind of be aware of your surroundings in the game.
Now, will you be engaging in battle with the Samurai Warriors, like the people that you remember from the previous games? Like, are they sort of in there as people you fight?
Absolutely, they play a big role in the game, not just as guides, but as boss characters as well. And defeating specific characters will give you new weapons or new power-ups.
And as far as just the scenarios, I mean, I assume that you can probably expect a lot of the same sort of battle scenarios from the previous games. Is there going to be a whole lot of Takeda, Oda style go back and forth stuff, or just a lot of the battle scenarios from the previous games kind of put into practice here? Yeah,
those that are fans of the Samurai Warriors will really appreciate the history, but we've taken the history and using that as the source material. But all the well-known battles that you've seen in Samurai Warriors will take place here, and we've actually done is really expand upon the gameplay. There's 3 different game modes. There's a versus mode for 2 players. There is a trial mode, which combines almost kind of brain training kind of activities, and there's your main Muso mode, which has about 96 different stages, and just in the Muso mode alone, there's about 30 hours of gameplay. Cool. We're going to actually jump to another stage now, and this is another well-known battle. It's the Battle of Hanoji Temple, and this is to kind of bring a little history into it. This is where Oda Nobunaga was assassinated before he could unite Japan. So little trivia for those back home. So in this stage. What I like about this stage is it shows that it's kind of a free roaming. The first stage was on rails, but we've seen a mix of gameplay here. And in this stage, Tina's going to use the cannon and a spear. And there are actually 8 different weapons to choose from, so don't let the katana name fool you.
Plenty of variety.
Yeah, plenty of variety. So in this stage, what her main goal is she has to rescue some people from a burning building, and it's the Hanoji Temple.
Now, I have a question for you guys. I'm asking, you guys were talking about at the beginning, a lot of the simpler enemies, she's pushing the A button to, stab or slash.
Yeah.
if I wanted to, could I change the control scheme so I was like stabbing and slashing like with the Wiimote every time, or?
You can't. Well, you can't reconfigure the controls where you're not pressing the A button, but you can use the charge attacks, as many times as you'd like, which has very gesture-specific moves like for.
That didn't even seem like a fair fight. You just cannon that one dude. It was like right in the face.
She's using a spear now, so you can use a lot of stabbing movements. And actually, with the sword, depending on how you swung the sword, you could toss characters in the air. So they really did a good job. The development team at Omega Force did a good job of really kind of tailoring the movements and the capabilities of each of the weapons and making them very unique.
So the gestures can change depending on what type of weapon you're using when you're doing those special attacks and such.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. So with the spear you have a thrusting movement. For the other weapons, there's like a boomerang where you have to kind of use a tossing movement. There's even like a bladed yo-yo for some crazy variety in there. So what she's doing right now, she's going through Hanoji Temple, and she's looking for the wife of a security officer. But we can also use the weapons to tear down, kind of like find some hidden passages along the way.
So like like it says action roam right there on the little analog stick. She can pretty much go anywhere she would like.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. But there are, so basically some levels are kind of on rails and just take you through a very specific, pattern, whereas here you can kind of explore and go wherever you need to go and eventually find this lady and stop her from burning alive.
Yeah, exactly. There's in fact, like we've really kind of like broken up the gameplay to give them the players a lot of variety along with the battles. There's stages where you'll be again like riding on horseback or wandering through mazes or searching the battlefields for treasure. So it's taking the Samurai Warriors universe and gameplay and really kind of like making it tailor-made for our fans, and also kind of creating a broader appeal for those that are Wii owners that are buying a console for the first time.
Gotcha.
Do you guys mind? They got some questions over here. You guys mind taking some questions from the audience?
Absolutely.
Brian Eckberg, you got some business over there?
Yeah, Mark Costa from London wants to know, is it possible to adjust the sensitivity of the sword slashes, and how sensitive is it on the default level?
Adjusting the sensitivity of the controls. Well, there's actually different weapons, different weapons within like the katana. There's different power-ups. You can take your weapon to the forge and customize it to increase certain attributes of like attacking or muso attacks, or making it more of a defensive weapon. And then you can find power-ups on the battlefield. But you can also use gold that you've earned through battle to, customize and adjust your weapon. The katana also, again, each weapon has different kind of movements to it, and it explains in the manual all the different techniques that you can use to like toss characters in the air, sweep several characters at once, stab them directly.
And it seems like just from watching her play, like it's responding the way it's supposed to when she's stabbing dudes. So when she stabs, someone dies, and that's what's supposed to happen. So it looks like it works pretty well.
Mr. Eckberg, I think we got time for one more question. You got another one for us?
Yeah, I sure do. Parker Wolford from Concord, California wants to know about if there's any multiplayer in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's jump into that real quick here, just to show people what it looks like.
You guys get to stab each other?
I think. I don't know how I feel about stabbing a lady, man.
There's a multiplayer mode. It's only for 2 people, and you get to choose a long-range weapon and a short-range weapon, and we'll go into that right now.
All right.
So
here
go
I
ahead
am.
and pick your lead.
I'll be that one.
Yeah.
That dude was fierce.
Yeah. I like hammer.
Okay, go ahead and pick the hammer.
Is the blades the
that's
the yo-yo?
Yeah.
Business.
I need a ranged weapon, right? I'll go with the bow.
Okay. And when you do the hammer, you'll hold the A button down and then use a hammering kind of motion. And then to do
that seems intuitive. All right.
And then for like the muso attack, you'll just shake your nut. When the muso gauge fills up, you
gotta run. So
running.
It's the
sure.
Okay. Okay.
And then you start running again.
Okay.
And right now it shows that you're ahead.
Now I gotta stab some dudes.
20 dudes.
Start hammering them. The hammer is slower, but when you're equipped with the hammer, it does prevent you from getting stunned by other enemies. and you can clear more than one enemy at a time. So. And now that your Muso gauge is full, you can shake your nunchuck and then start hammering. There you go.
Oh, damn. Oh, dip.
That's some hammering. That's
some dudes just got hammered in the face.
That was like all kinds of people dropping. Well,
okay. Oh, jeez. Z2, Z, V. Z. All right, there we go.
There was 5 seconds left, supposedly, or now it's been extended.
Okay.
I mean, I got all this stabbing I gotta do.
Yeah. They're running through spikes. The door's closing.
Oh,
no
damn! Spikes are killing me right now.
You can use the Z button to stop, but while you're doing that, on the direction pad there are different items that you can use to kind of like distract your enemy. You can slow them down with like broken sandals.
There are so many spikes here, man.
You gotta turn the crank. Turn the crank.
She's the one turning the crank. I'm just getting stabbed over and over again by these damn walls.
Run.
Yes.
Run.
I will get to the chopper. This hurts a lot.
I will spare you, Mr. Navarro. They're telling
Thank
me we
you.
are moving on.
All right.
So yeah. There we go.
Samurai Warriors Katana. When's it due out?
January 15th, 2008.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Okay.
You got another game that Brian Eckberg's going to be showing
Well,
us.
I don't have another game, but we got another game.
We got another game. That's true.
We the team. Brian Eckberg, what kind of craziness you got over there?
We, the team, have Schizoid.
Hey, I brought the game, all right?
Brad is here, of course. Brad Shoemaker's here, and we're going to take a look at an Xbox 360 game.
Yep.
Schizoid. The subtitle is Two Minds, One Goal.
One Goal, yes. So it's an
Sounds
Xbox...
like one of my last relationships.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, so it's an Xbox Live Arcade game. It's been made by Torpex, which is a developer up in Bellevue, Washington.
Okay.
It's notable because it's the first XNA game to make it to Live Arcade. XNA was that common development platform that Microsoft put out. Lets you make Windows and 360 games kind of in parallel. So first one of those to be made with XNA.
Yeah, and proof that XNA games don't have to look like dog crap. This game looks awesome,
it looks really sweet. And it is, as you said, it's a co-op focused game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need the assistance of my lovely host here to help me play it.
All right.
So we're going to jump right on in here.
Right, so it's kind of like, we were playing it earlier, and it reminds me of like a cross between like Flow and like Pac-Man and like
there's some Geometry Wars in there. And Ikaruga we were talking about. Yeah, like there's all kinds of influences here. So let's just jump on in so people can see how it works. So you've got, it's two-player, like I said. You've got two ships, one of each color, and the idea is essentially that you kill enemies of the same color by running into them. But of course,
if you run into the opposite color, you die.
You're done for. Yeah,
Right.
That's exactly right. So we just started a new game, so the first few levels are real rudimentary here. Whoa! Although I'm already getting the business, but you can see, basically you're just kind of working together to clear out the different colors of enemies.
Right.
And there's a lot more to it than that. It gets more complicated as you progress.
Yeah, it ramps up pretty quick, we found.
And as you can see, these levels just fly by, so we should make some pretty good progress here. Now, whoa, come here.
These are tough to catch, these little... Oh, see, I died.
You just ate it. Now, you'll see when you die, you respawn right on top of your teammates.
Right.
So that's usually useful for strategic purposes. Kind of similar to Geometry Wars, the different kind of enemies have different behavioral patterns. So, like these star guys, whoa! You can see, like, they'll come after the other colored guy, but then they'll also flee directly from the same colored guy.
Right, so we kind of lured them in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of cases where you need to kind of like leapfrog back and forth to drag enemies around and all that kind of thing.
And one of the things I noticed right away about this game was that it's like the field of view scales really nice and really smooth.
It does. I mean, you can see these are pretty big levels. Whoa.
Don't worry, I'm doing all the dying.
Real big levels, and I'm gonna die. You can pretty much go to the opposite ends of the levels, and I'm so dead.
No, I got you.
It'll scale all the way out. Yeah, like you can see these star guys are basically as fast as you are. So
yeah, you're gonna have to bring it back towards me.
You actually, cut them off. There you go. See, that's what you got to do, that kind of stuff. So.
And then once they get cut off there, they're sort of stranded.
Yeah. These blue dudes are all bunched up here.
So I'm gonna try to bring this back to you because he's chasing me. You cut him off right there.
Bam. All right, so there we go. That was level 4. There are definitely over 100 levels. I think it's like 120, something like that. So, and they get longer and more complicated as you go.
And it should be noted that there's a lot of different kinds of of these little creatures that have different properties.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. There's still several more enemy types that have yet to be introduced here.
And these are interesting because they sort of evolve as you go, right?
Yeah, these guys will. This might happen before we finish this, or maybe not. But these guys will evolve into an indestructible form. That one right there just did that.
And it's interesting because even though they evolve, if all of these evolve, it's the level over,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I mean, once you can't kill anything else,
that's
yeah.
a legitimate strategy.
Yeah, totally. I believe in a level or two we're going to see some breeders, which are these dudes that just go around dropping eggs everywhere. So.
And you got to take care of those guys.
Yeah,
quick.
you want to cut those guys off at the source as fast as you can because it gets real hectic if you let them lay 10 billion eggs everywhere.
we found that out earlier.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh.
All right. Got it. I think those guys might be on this next level here. There's a number of power-ups in the game too. I hope we have time to get to some of them because they're pretty cool. But you can increase your ship's speed. There's a smart bomb.
And so these are like eggs right here.
Yeah, these are the eggs. I think on the next level you'll actually see the breeders that drop these things, and that can get pretty hairy. Whoa. Oh, bad news, bad news.
Yeah, it definitely takes some communication.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Obviously,
that.
we're playing local co-op here. It is going to have full internet support. You'll be able to play.
Sure, but just 2 players.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's just 2-player over Xbox Live. So, and then the most mind-bending aspect of this game that you could imagine is that hopefully we'll unlock. Oh, there it is. Uber Schizoid mode is what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
Basically, so you can play co-op like we're doing. You can play one player with the computer controlling the other ship, but you can also play Uber Schizoid where you're actually controlling each of these ships with one of the sticks on the controller, and it will split your brain in half.
And we're actually going to, hopefully if we have enough time, we're going to watch you split your brain in half.
I'll jump into a game real quick.
And talk at the same time.
You can see how miserably I fail at that. I still haven't mastered the whole walking and chewing gum thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, do you know when this game's coming out?
It's early next year. I think they are still sort of hammering out a, oh god.
Oh boy.
A firm release date. You'll notice that even though we've died a lot, oh my god, a lot. You do accrue extra lives pretty damn fast. Are you kidding me?
Look at that. I think it's...
Come out here. All right, you got to get that guy behind me.
All right, we got to show off some Uber Schizoid mode.
All right, yeah, let's jump out of here.
All right, I'm gonna bow out, and you're gonna play.
Yeah, let me exit out here. Yeah, so the power ups, we didn't get to see any of those, but you'll pick up a power up. Let me bail out here.
Okay.
You'll actually pick up a power up and drag it around with you. You don't actually get to use it until the other player also touches it at the same time. So you have to kind of come together on the board to activate those power-ups.
And we saw, what, a smart bomb that sort of...
Yeah, there's the smart bomb. There's like a speed-up option. The coolest one that I've seen so far is this razor wire that actually makes like a wire between your 2 ships, and you can like kind of enclose enemies in it and all that.
Okay.
So
here's
get
Brad.
ready to laugh.
All right, so Brad, what's 534 times 260? You don't know?
42. I don't know. Okay,
well, that was easy.
That wasn't so bad.
You made that look easy.
That wasn't so bad. But we'll see where this goes.
So we don't have a release date, but it's going to be available on Xbox Live soon, we hope.
Yeah.
And we don't know anything about price or anything.
I believe it's early next year.
Okay.
And yeah, you can draw your own conclusions from the price of previous original content on Live Arcade. Probably somewhere around 800 points is not a far-fetched estimate there.
I've been asked to wait until you die.
Well, okay.
Probably, what, about 2 more?
Yeah.
This level, you can handle this.
I don't know, dude. My eyes don't even go in 2 directions at once.
You're right-handed, I guess.
Well, I just died, so I guess we can move on now. Whoa.
All right. So, Schizoid coming out soon.
Yes.
Xbox Live.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Brad. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And now we're going to take a look at a nice video that our friend Tyler put together on an upcoming Dark game. It's got Dark, it's got sectors. It's called Dark Sector. Check it out.
Sure.
I'm Steve Sinclair, and I'm the project lead on Dark Sector. It's been a while since we first sort of tipped our hand and showed our cards. And that was really employed as we're building our engine and our technology. We wanted to, kind of grab some mind share and start getting interest in the company and in the project and that sort of thing. So, we continued to work on basically our tech demo. There was no gameplay there. And we changed it, and we took, the original Hayden concept, and rather than a suit that he can take off when he goes to the bathroom, we started sort of putting it more in the character, making it more of a permanent sort of flaw in him. So he sort of has been there since the beginning, but we tried to make his powers and so on be sort of something that emanated from his body, and that's where infection came from, and so on and so forth. Well, what we tried to do was show Hayden before this infection happens and after. And so we kind of did a riff on Wizard of Oz there. So it's black and white before the infection happens. And at the moment of infection, there's this cool kind of transition that goes into sort of he's in the land of Oz kind of thing. So there's a very discernible difference between those two phases of him. And that's just a short sort of warm-up period. You have to learn cover and vaulting over and use the guns and that sort of thing. And then once you pass that point, that's when we give you the glaive, and you have to sort of prove your competency with the glaive at that point. I guess the most discernible difference the game has gone in the past 6 months in terms of the abilities and that sort of thing has been the dual wield. So we had for quite some time the glaive was just a weapon in your weapon selection, and that really caused this problem of the balance between the guns and the glaive. And the elegant solution for that is you fire your gun offhand once you are in that mode, in that infected mode. So that's been the most significant thing, is you can just tap the other trigger, whip your glaive out, and be at the same time shooting the guy down beside him. So that's pretty much, I would say, the most significant thing. It's helped the flow of the game so much better because we don't have this constant weapon switching back and forth anymore. The first scene in the game is showing you Lazarus in 1987. It's sort of when the Soviets kind of raised this sub and all hell was let loose, kind of Pandora's box style. And so Messner was the one that was sent in after that moment to investigate. And of course, you come in after he kind of goes off the grid, so to speak, and you have to sort of figure out what he's done. And of course, he's taken it upon himself to spread the love and gone a little bit bonkers in the interim. So that's kind of what he's all about, and he's kind of the target that you're sent in to kill in the first place. And that's sort of the menace of the game, is this guy. And he's sort of, very early on, he sort of gets in your head, and he's kind of, although he's not, present in that sense, he's present in the sense that he's in your head. Dark Sector is going to be out on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, late first quarter of 2008.
And there's a look at Dark Sector. I'm being joined now by Ricardo Torres, who has brought a friend by, Ken from Sega. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Excellent. And you guys brought a pretty cool game to check out, one that we used to play a long time ago on the Sega Saturn.
We did, with that big 3D controller.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, that's right, it had its own little controller and everything.
So this is Knight's Journey of Dreams. Ken, tell us where this fits into the Knight's continuity.
Well, so after 11 years, we're finally bringing back Knights. We're finally, bringing back the franchise.
Took you long enough, but that's cool.
That's all right. And so we've got the story takes place right after the first one. So, Knights has now moved on to, we've got two new children. We've got Will and Helen, both who have completely independent storylines, and you can choose to play, again, very similar to the original, you can choose to play as either Will or as Helen, and you can play as one, you can play as both of them. Again, each has their own independent storyline, so you can, if you just want to play as Will, you can go ahead and play and get an absolutely full game experience. If you want to play as Helen, that's okay too, or you can play as both of them. And then we have some hidden, features and unlockables that sort of give you an initiative to play as both of them and find out everything you can about the whole dream world of Knights.
Sweet, let's talk more playing. Hop in. We waited 11 years, we might as well see it, right?
All right. So we've got a brand new level that we are debuting for the very first time right here on the spot. It's called the Memory Forest here, so it is one of the levels that you will encounter as Helen in her storyline. And again, it's very, very similar to the classic Knights, the style of gameplay. We absolutely are in a three-dimensional world, but again, very similar to the original Knights. As you are completing certain objectives, you will go, think of it as like switching train tracks. You will explore certain parts of the level with one objective and certain parts of the level with the next objective. So I can say I'm not very good at this particular section here, but I've got to make sure I can get the tune.
How are you guys using the Wii remote for control? Because obviously the original game you had what used to be the biggest gaming controller ever, the Sega's 3D controller for the Saturn.
Well, when we thought about bringing Knights, you know, to the next generation of consoles and for the next generation of gamers, we started thinking, you know, what made Knights, you know, great, you know, 11 years ago, and innovation was the biggest thing. And right now, you know, the Wii is a very innovative console, and it just offers us a way to bring flight in a very easy way to the next generation of gamers. So when we looked at just the Wiimote, you know, we figured, you know, what's the best way to do this? And again, we're offering, you know, several different control schemes so you can play as Knights. So if you're, you know, a really big fan of the GameCube controller, you can absolutely play and fly as Knights using the GameCube controller. If you're like me, who's like a little bit more of a classic gamer, I enjoy using the nunchuck, you know, because I enjoy the analog stick. But if you just want to use the Wiimote and absolutely just point at the screen and just, you know, allow Knights to fly in that capacity, it absolutely is available to you as a gamer.
One of the cool things I remember about the old one is I'd get little surprises on like holidays and stuff. They'd be like little Winter Wonderland, you know, Christmas style. You guys gonna pack in stuff where by the internal clock of your system it gives you some surprises?
Well, we absolutely have some surprises here for Knights. One of the big features that we have is something called the My Dream World. So as I go exploring the world as Knights, I will be able to collect different features, different items, and I can place them in what's this living, breathing environment called the My Dream. And so once it's there, the My Dream, what it does is it goes ahead and creates a world based on your gameplay style. And so that itself is linked to the forecast channel. So this is the very first game that's using the forecast channel. So if you're, for example, here in San Francisco and it's raining, it's going to be raining in your My Dream World. If you're up in Canada and it's snowing, it's going to be snowing in your My Dream World. And so we've also linked it up to holidays. So certain holidays you're going to have different surprises that you can go ahead and experience with the Nightopians inside of your own dream world. And every dream world is going to be unique because it absolutely caters to things you found. Maybe you treat the Nightopians really, really well and they build like a fountain, a lake, a mountain, anything into it. It absolutely is a living, breathing environment.
So do you want to fill folks in? Because the original game you were just going around collecting, you know, collecting enough those blue gems to open the gates, but now you're actually chasing a bird, right?
Right. So the purpose of this particular mission is to go ahead and, you know, I got to get the key from these 3 different birds to unlock what's called the Knight's Capture, which is the prison that Knights is traditionally encased in. Once that's completed, I immediately will go to one of the boss levels. And if I don't want to continue playing that particular dream, I don't have to anymore. You know, I can keep moving on to the next dream world. But if I want to go collecting all of the features and all the items that is in Knights, there are absolutely different missions available. 5 for every dream world. And some of them are actually incredibly creative. So one of the levels, you'll actually be in a desert where there will be a theme park in there, and you'll notice that there's a roller coaster there. So one of the missions is actually Knights will transform into the roller coaster, and you can actually ride that roller coaster. Some of them you'll transform into a raft and go whitewater rafting. And we actually have something called persona masks that is a feature within Knights itself that will allow Knights to transform into different creatures. For example, just on the fly here, we can transform into a dragon, a rocket ship, even a dolphin to access certain levels of the world that you wouldn't be able to access otherwise.
Very nice. Now, you mentioned that there's a bunch of unlockable content in the game. Can you sort of give people a hint as to how much, and if there's anything familiar in the game, like, you know, stuff?
Absolutely. I think that fans of the original Knights are going to be very pleased with some of the hidden items and hidden unlockable features that we do have available. Again, one of the things that we do have is we have a level that can be unlocked in here, and we also have certain features within the My Dream World themselves that can go ahead and be unlocked. Again, the My Dream World feature also, depending on what you go collecting and depending on how your gameplay style is, you can go talking to your friends online. So I can go ahead and actually go into, if you've got your, you know, we're synced up as friends, you know, on the Me system, I can go ahead and jump right into your Dream World, check it out. You can go ahead and jump into my Dream World. We can even exchange different items. And so, you know, again, it encourages us to, you know, play maybe as a team. You know, like you'll go check these levels out, I'll check the other ones out, and we'll just go exchanging the items that we go finding. So again, we do have a lot of unlockables for you to go ahead and explore.
I'm gonna ask. I think somebody said something about multiplayer stuff, right?
Yes, we do. We have a 2-player mode. We have a race and a battle mode. And we've got the race mode is available, so you can play with your friends and family, you know, locally, or, you know, using the Nintendo Wi-Fi, you can go ahead and go ahead and play with your friends and family all over the world.
That's awesome. What about you?
Yeah.
I think
I
you
think
got
I
a
wanna see
remote.
it.
I think, yeah, I want to see the. Well, you guys are getting the 2-player setup. You got any questions over there, Kevin Van Orden? You guys have business works?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a lot of people wondering about classic controller support. For example, from Jeremy Mellinger in Fairfield, Connecticut, wants to know. A lot of people want to know if you're stuck with motion controls or if there's any classic controller support.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a very robust system for the controls, so you are not stuck with the motion control. If you choose to play with the virtual controller or the GameCube controller, you can absolutely go ahead and do that.
Any more questions over there, Kevin?
Looks like Christopher Nicholas in Birmingham, Great Britain wants to know if Sonic is unlockable.
Ooh. I can go ahead and confirm that Sonic is not unlockable in Nights.
Because he's totally available from the beginning, right? No?
It's because he's going to be coming out another great game called Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. So we just want to make sure that
These guys on spot.
we have their own spot for them.
All right, that's cool.
Excellent. You guys getting in this 2-player match over here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I pressing?
You're
I got it.
The A on.
All right.
So what are we going to see here? Is this the battle? Is the race?
So we're going to go ahead and see the race. Willem, do you want to play Ricardo?
You tell.
How do you battle? Like the thought of the night dude fighting is crazy.
There you go. Do Pure Valley.
Okay.
Actually, well, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah, do the other one has a roller coaster in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. You want to play that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go right into that.
What are you guys getting this going? How does that battle system work?
So the battle system works essentially that you're going to be knights and you've got these enormous boulders that you start hurling at each other.
Oh, wow.
And so you get to fly absolutely in a 3-dimensional space, 360 degrees, and you go capturing different boulders and such that you start flinging at each other, So you just got to time that up. It's a lot of fun to play.
Sounds like it.
Definitely one of my favorites.
I'm Riella, right?
So you're going to be Riella, yeah. I believe so. Yeah.
Yay.
But this, however, is the race we're checking out, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and steal these from Ricardo.
Do you have any other questions waiting for us by any chance over there, Kevin?
A lot of people want to know about the music in the game. They're wondering if any of the tracks from the original have been remastered or make a reappearance in this version.
We'll have a little bit more about that particular feature in the future. We absolutely have taken, they're all new songs, for example, when you start playing the game. But we have definitely taken the style and definitely the tone of the original into this. So again, it does actually feel like a true sequel.
Oh. Excellent. I think we got time for a couple more questions. If you got any over there, Kevin?
A lot of people want to know more about the storyline. They want to know exactly what the concept is here, and they want to know a little bit more about what's going on.
Okay, sure. So the concept is essentially that we have 2 different children this time around, and we have 3 stories essentially. Knights is going through his particular storyline, through his battle with Riella and Wiseman, and then we have the children of Will and Helen, and they're going through their own different, I want to call them growing pains. So as the children go into their dream worlds, essentially the dream worlds are kind of reflecting on the kids' nightmares and their anxieties about growing up and dealing with their parents at that particular age. So Nights essentially helps them overcome these fears and helps them essentially take that next step and sort of get to that point where they're comfortable again with their parents. And the kids in turn will help Nights through his particular dilemma and his storyline in defeating Wiseman, Riella, and all the Nightmarans. So really there's 3 different storylines going on, and they all kind of I don't want to say they combine, but they're definitely intertwined.
Sounds awesome. I think we got time for one more question, Kevin.
Excellent. Looks like Snook in Southern California and a few other people want to know how much free-range motion there is and how restricted they are in the on rails.
There is a lot of free-range motion. Again, it is going to be on rails, so as you go completing different different objectives, the rails again will go ahead and will go changing. However, once you go into the different missions, you will have a little bit. The world is set up differently, so you have a different set of freedom. So you'll have to check it out. It really is a per mission kind of thing.
I got one last question for folks that actually emailed me. So just in Japan, they announced that the original Nights is coming out on PS2.
Right.
So this is obviously coming out this year. Got anything to tell us about?
I can definitely assure you right now that there are no plans to bring the original Knights on the PS2, but check back with us next year and, we'll see what happens.
January 2nd.
Excellent. Thanks so much for stopping by, Ken. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Mr. Ricardo Torres, as always. And right now I'm going to kick it over to our good friend Kevin Van Ord, who you might have known snuck in there in place of Brian, all ninja style. Brian's not done. He's off to the side. He'll be back over here in a moment. But right now it's Kevin, and he is standing by with our next set of guests. So go ahead, Kevin.
Speaking of Ninja Style, I'm here with David Luntz with Nunchuck Games, and we're going to be taking a look at Ninja Reflex today. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what we should expect to see from Ninja Reflex?
Absolutely. Ninja Reflex is a game that's coming out in March 08 for both the Wii and the DS, and really the easiest way to describe it in a phrase is Wii Sports meets martial arts. Wii Sports has 5 sports games. Ninja Reflex has 6 martial arts games that are designed for you to master the art of speed with the hope of developing the reflexes of a ninja. So you start off the game as a white belt and you train in single player mode with your sensei who guides you throughout the game, and as you earn belt ranks you hopefully one day make it to black belt. And then there's a multiplayer aspect. Up to 4 players compete simultaneously for ninja supremacy.
Awesome. So actually, I think that you were going to show us a little bit about the single player here and the 6. Is it 6 mini games total? That
Yeah, there's 6 core games, and then let me jump in here. The first thing you do is you enroll in your dojo by choosing what we call a ninja name. So a ninja name is a combination of a first name and a last name that you can change your first or last individually, or you can hit shuffle. There are over 25,000 combinations available, and some are funny, some are serious, depends whatever your tastes are. Say you like Wicked Fire, and you choose whether you're right or left-handed, and from then on, your sensei will call you, in this case, Fire-san, throughout the game. So he knows all the ninja names and will call you by name once you choose your ninja name. So I'm going to jump here just to show you the structure of the game. There are 6 core games: Shuriken, which is throwing star; Hashi, which means chopsticks in Japanese; Koi, Katana, which is samurai sword; Hotaru, which means firefly; and Nunchaku, which are nunchucks. These are all things that you actually translate into gameplay that you can do in real life. And you start off again in single player as a white belt, and you progress all the way. I'm currently a first-degree black belt, and so that's the structure of the single player game. Each of these 6 games has 6 variations. You unlock the variations as you progress in belt rank. So there's 36 game variations, 6 core games, and then in multiplayer, you'll see if you want to sign in, we'll get, I guess, 4 people to sign in and jump in here, and you'll see that the 4 games here, we'll start off with Shuriken. The way Shuriken works is you're in the center of a courtyard, and you'll see ninja targets and geisha targets. What you want to do is you want to kill the ninja targets, and you don't want to kill the geisha targets. So you'll do this by locking on to the targets with the B button and then doing a throw motion as though you were throwing a shuriken. And so you'll see the targets come up here, lock on. Oops.
Oopsie.
Sorry about that. You do the throw, and there you can see your reaction times as well. Everything in this game is measured to the millisecond. And you'll see we can lock onto a target. More than one player can lock onto a target at the same time. Then it comes down to who does the throwing motion faster. The faster you throw, the faster the shuriken travels.
And it's worth pointing out that we've actually got 4 people here in the game currently.
Exactly.
Kids.
Yes,
exactly.
You can throw sidearm or overhand, whichever style you prefer more. I'm a sidearm ninja myself.
That's true ninja style.
Okay. And if you lock onto a geisha, hit the A to unlock. You don't lose a point for killing geisha.
I think we should get extra points for killing geishas.
We'll make a special build for you that does just that.
Man, I
watching you guys from over here, it looks awesomely fun.
Thank you. Oh, you can see. Okay, so Furious Demon won by 1 point. In the event of a tie, I just want to point out, ties don't exist in this game. It goes down to whoever has the faster average reaction. So you can win by a millisecond, literally.
Now, I was actually red here, and I'd like to point out that when we played before we were on the air, I actually won this particular game, so I don't want anybody to worry about my level of skill in throwing shurikens here.
Yeah, I know. You're doing very well for a first-time ninja. All right, so we're going to jump in and
say a first-time ninja.
First-time ninja, at least in this game. I don't see a black belt, but you'll get one day. Okay, so Hotaru is very simple, but hard to master. You're going to wait and see when a firefly appears. You want to hit the A button. But you want to hit as fast as you can, but you don't want to spam the button. If you hit hit A when there's no firefly, you lose a point. If you see a firefly that's in your color, okay, so I'm blue, you're red.
Yes.
Only get the ones in your color. If they don't have a color, it's a free-for-all. Anybody can get them. And you'll see our reaction time to the millisecond pop up every time you catch one. Yep. So that big, that means you whiffed, yeah.
Hope. This is actually a lot harder than it looks.
Yep. It requires immense concentration.
So have you actually seen an increase in your actual real-life ninja skills from
Yes.
playing this game?
I guarantee you, when you play this game, you'll get faster. Of course, reflexes are not only key to martial artists trying to block a punch or duck a kick, but they're key to gamers. Almost every game, reflexes.
All right, now look at that.
Skill.
Just look at that.
That is
All
very
right,
good.
Spicy Fire with 14 points.
There you go.
What about the one with the nunchuck? What do you do with that one?
The nunchucks, you actually swing a nunchuck the way well, one of the things, when I grew up, my friends and I, we had shuriken, we had nunchucks. These are things that you could get.
Totally.
Now they're banned. You literally cannot buy them anymore. And so part of this game was about giving players the ability to sort of feel in gameplay what it would be like to swing a nunchuck. And if you ever swung one, you know it's sort of a horizontal figure-8 pattern, and you do that with the Wii remote, and you commandeer a nunchuck, but we're not ready to talk about that one yet. That's at a later date. Well, we're going to end up with, with Hashi.
Great.
So Hashi, again, means chopsticks. You're going to close the chopsticks by squeezing the A and B buttons together. When you grab a fly, you want to drag them to whichever bowl is spinning. And again, if you see a colored fly, you just want to grab your color. You lose a point if you put them in the bowl if it's not your color, so just let them go if it's not your color. Here we go. All right, so we got the red bowl spinning here.
All right, this is easily, for me, the hardest one. I don't know that I can explain why that is.
You ever tried catching a fly with chopsticks?
Look at this. I mean, really. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. There we go.
I'm not even picking up the right color. I mean, this is really tough.
And if you get the wrong color, just let them go. What's going on here?
I guess I'm...
Got a Wii remote.
Yeah, I'm really not doing too well, as you can see.
Somebody's battery's low.
Why? Man.
15 seconds.
You know, I can barely manage with chopsticks to eat my sesame chicken. So, how you guys are managing to do that, I have no idea.
Well, it does take practice, and I guarantee if you play the game, you will get faster, your hand-eye coordination will improve, your response time to the millisecond, you can measure your progress.
So you're saying this game can help me with my Counter-Strike game? Then
I can guarantee you, especially with Shuriken, if you play first-person shooters, of which I play many, this game will increase your accuracy and your trigger time, guaranteed.
All right, I'm gonna have to test that out. That's
cool.
Awesome.
Excellent. And when's the game coming out?
Game's coming out in March 2008, worldwide, the DS and the Wii.
Excellent. Do we have time to take some questions?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it looks like we got a few questions here. Let's take a look and see what's going on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not able to assist you with those questions.
Yeah, no worries at all.
It's over there.
As we can all see, I've got excellent multitasking skills.
Yeah.
So, Tommy Brown in Plainfield, Illinois wants to know how different the 6 different variants are within each game.
Yeah, they're quite different. In multiplayer, what we do is the game combines the variations into the multiplayer game. So whenever you play a multiplayer game, like you just saw Hashi, it never plays the same way twice, first of all. Secondly, in the single-player game, your focus is on different things. So for example, one of the single-player Hashi games is focused on one fly, sort of like Mr. Miyagi, that is ultra-fast. Okay, versus what you saw there, which was a total swarm of them that were color-coded, which would be an example of a second game variation. So in the single player, it breaks down into those components and you unlock them as you increase in belt rank. In multiplayer, we combine them dynamically on a round-by-round basis so that you always get something different.
Right. And actually, looks like Sam Hernandez in some city I can't pronounce in Texas wants to know about whether it's easy to lose your reticle and all of that. And I actually can point out that I never once had trouble locating my own reticle. The color, the shape was different for everybody. So.
Yeah, the color and the shape are different. Yep.
Excellent.
Anything else? Questions?
Looks like that's about it. Looks like we're going to head over back to Ryan.
Cool.
David, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And thanks, Kevin, for that. And right now, I'm surprised we haven't shown it like 5,000 times during the show yet, you guys. But Grand Theft Auto 4, there is a new trailer out there, and we're going to show it to you right now if you haven't seen it. Take it away.
Welcome to Bravo, Come in, come in.
This is the mansion?
The mansion is coming, cousin. That's the dream.
What do you mean?
We're going to the top, Nico. Soon, even you will forget about the old country. What's up, money?
Hey, Nico. Move up, ladies.
So, where are you taking me?
Bling, check. Bodies, check. Paper, check. That's how we roll. Where are you, Roman?
Freaking out, man. I'm being followed. I saw them.
Don't be ridiculous. You're being paranoid.
Where's your Russian friend now, huh?
So you're the guy who got jumped for a couple of minutes.
Wake up! What are you working for? I don't want to die, man, not like this!
We must fight these people! It's them or us, cousin!
What are you still doing here? Get out of my sight, or I'm kill you!
Let him know. Mine is right.
I told you to be calm, you halted the jump!
Welcome to America.
Stop shooting people, you maniac! Leave my people alone! I ain't asking you, I'm telling you, do this! So you in, big guy? Or we're gonna have to kill you.
Well, since you put it that way, I'm in.
Grand Theft Auto 4, man. That was actually the first time I got a chance to see it today. That is awesome.
Yeah, really cool. Heck of a trailer.
And like I was asking you guys before, it was halfway over. Does anybody know that song? It was like, is that?
I don't know
the
what
song
that is.
On the spot at Gamespot.com. You can email that to me.
It might just be something for the game. I mean, it might not actually be. Yeah,
totally. I'm a big fan of that already, though.
Yeah, they know how to make a trailer. Those guys.
Yeah, totally. And it's cool the way that that the first one looked hella good, and then they give you just so much more in this one.
Yeah, they give you little teases. I want to know what's going on in these stories. I want to know who these guys are.
There's a plot now.
Yeah,
There's actually a plot.
It looks all kinds of serious.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be awesome. I can't get here soon enough.
Right on. When is it coming out now? They say in the spring.
I think they said spring. That's what I remember anyway.
So that was a whole show. I mean,
it was a show, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We totally did a show.
We totally did a show, and you guys, Hotspot next week, next Tuesday, tons of stuff. But any final thoughts, you guys?
Alex. Well said, as you.
Yeah, that's about what I got.
Sure.
I'll say, it's been, as everyone has said, it's been a tough week, and we're here, we're not going anywhere, and I will say that one of the, bright sides of this is great to see you here on camera for On the Spot. It's been a while.
Thanks.
I missed you having you here. So
thank you so much, really. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys can see me. I was a little rusty though, because like somebody was talking in the ear. I'm like, oh yeah, let me get to that.
Yeah, I did that too. I did that too.
So all right, well, thanks to you guys so much for being here, and thanks to all of you for watching. For everybody here at GameSpot. I'm Ryan McDonald, and we'll see you next week in all kinds of places. Right back here, certainly for On the Spot. And until then, thanks a lot for everybody for watching. Take it easy.